Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is our panel discussion on the Roving Caregivers Program. It's a pleasure to have you with us as we all try to learn more about the need and impact of early childhood education and stimulation on the development of our human capital. Very pleased to have with us as we continue. In case you're just joining us, there's Susan Branca-Lashley, who is the Program Director for the Caribbean Child Support Initiative. And to her right is Sean Vargas. He is the Coordinator for the Roving Caregiver Program in Belize. And to his right, Utilia Burrell, Executive Director for the program. And so this is a program that's impacting not only from education, but culturally, socially, and we can see where it will have impact on national productivity in the Caribbean in the long run. But to go back to how it actually starts, can you tell us a little bit about why this program is so impactful from a content perspective?
Children's work is play. Yeah. And this is something that we always say. And it speaks to the way the Roving Caregivers Program operates. It's through play. And this means that the rovers who got their names by their activity, they actually go from home to home in the communities, take what we call play gadgets. And they take these into the homes and they play with the children, to put it succinctly. And the parents, as well as any other significant other person in that household, is encouraged to join in. Children learn through play. And it is that kind of activity that eventually leads to language development.
Right.
Because the child may not be speaking, but the child is interacting. Yes. So while the songs are being sung, while the blocks are being used, while the cart is being pushed, verbalization occurs. So you sing a song, hello, how are you? You're teaching the courtesy skills.
Then why you didn't sing it?
Sean, you get Sean to sing it.
Let's go. I want to learn.
We will sing it together.
Yeah,
hello,
let's sing it together.
How are you? Hello, how are you? Hello,
And very often,
how are you? How are you today?
Simple as that.
Yes.
Just that.
Okay.
And through the music, through this, you get the child's attention. Definitely.
Yes.
You're stimulating the child,
Yes.
and you actually see the eyes moving, you see the lip.
Happiness.
Look at what you're doing.
Yes.
You're laughing.
Yes.
The happiness comes out.
Yes.
And
And the parents too.
That's
I mean, it's
right,
amazing
that's
how
right.
infectious it gets after
That's
the
right.
first, second, third visit.
Exactly.
You know, parents get a lot more excited about it because they see their children are
Right.
responding.
Right.
You see
in
them
ways-
coming closer in for the stimulation.
So, and in Belize in particular, I mean, I visited the program there, and as Sean said, you know, the families are a bit shy initially. But from the first time that I visited to now, you can see that the parents are
Vast
gravitating
improvement,
closer.
yes.
So it's not the sphere of what's happening, but they're realizing that, you know, something is happening here with my child that's different.
Different. Even in terms of doing the hand movement and the puppet, they are now doing that, which really shows great growth, no?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. As we know, music is an international language.
Yes.
And even though certain things may be interpreted differently in each country based on its culture, it's the same messages that are passed on.
Yes.
So the smile is the same, be it in Jamaica, Belize, or in the Eastern Caribbean.
The interesting thing about this program, though, is that you have persons, you have educators, you have persons who are in neuroscience, you have persons who are in biopsychosocial development, who are all saying this thing works because it's impacting the entire development perspective of a human being.
So true.
What I worry about, though, is how do we deal with the cultural penetration that wants to shift us using the little plastic bottles, little bits of thread, the little thread wheels that the children use to make wheels that they put on the carton boxes that become a car, the little piece of plastic that becomes the rudder. And so the feeling that this is not enough, that you need to go and actually buy expensive plastic toys so that you can't afford to stimulate your child.
I think something like this, it's through fora like these that you're going to send the messages out. Twin with what is happening in terms of the high increase in the rate of crime in the countries, especially here in Jamaica. And
stop it. Are you telling people that this Roving Caregivers program stimulating a child's brain early, between 0 to 3, because you said before in the womb, can impact crime?
It certainly can.
Explain that, because people are going to say, no. Explain
well, for instance, in the homes, whatever environment you create, that is how the child is going to develop.
Yes.
And that is why we speak to the impact of the environment on brain development.
Yes.
The brain is wired based on what it receives. So if you have a home where you're having just dub music being played, where you have bad word being cussed, then what you're going to have is a brain that is wired in a negative way, as against an environment where you have positiveness, you have love, you have songs being sung, you have the social skills where you hear kind words being exchanged, you have what we call conflict resolutions, activities being done.
So it's a total contextual framework.
Very contextual.
I want to bring Sean in, Utilia, because my time is running on me. You go to some families that really have problems with the least in life. And so part of the developmental pattern of the Caregivers program is that you facilitate income generating programs within the family. Tell us how you do that.
At this point, our income generation program is pending. We are now working on proposals to get that part implemented.
But where it works, what do you do? What happens?
Well, some of the other islands like Dominica, for example, where we are working in extremely rural and deprived communities, they have started pig rearing, for example, and goat rearing. They have small farming projects where they would have just donated seeds and cuttings to families. And it's amazing that one goat that is being shared by 4 households can result in some measure of revenue in terms of milk, and then ultimately the sale.
Because nutrition is also important to the...
So very basic things like that have been introduced into rural settings, and families now are seeing that there's a potential to be self-sufficient rather than dependent on others for handouts.
That is important.
So
this is a holistic approach to educating the child that includes the economic and social and psychological.
And I think also the recognition that there are survival issues at the end of the day. So while we can talk about stimulation and the importance of early childhood development when you visit a home, clearly one has to treat with what the fundamentals are within that environment.
While I have your attention, Susan, you're covering a very wide geographical area. How do you maintain quality?
Quality is maintained through the rigor with which we apply to issues of training, for example. That's continuous. So rovers, for example, are trained initially and then over...
Is the training centralized or do you train in each territory?
In each territory. And the program coordinators and supervisors are responsible for ongoing training, mentoring, and certainly supervision is a key aspect. So isn't that these professionals just go out and we throw caution to the wind. But you know, the coordinators and supervisors play a key role in ensuring that quality is maintained.
So Sean, as you're about to leave us at the end of this segment, what would you wish to leave with us as your personal testimony for the RCP program?
What I've seen from since we implemented a year ago to now is in terms of acceptability, the actual growth. A couple of weeks ago I was in the field and the preschool teacher told me that she knew the children that were a part of RCP at the start of the school the school day in September because they adjusted perfect rather against those that were not a part of the program. And when she told me that, I was happy because like, yes, this is working. We don't have it as the terms of the documented evidence that has been done in the Caribbean. It's there coming from the school, the preschool teacher. So I was like, yes, we are working. We are doing something. So that's one part that's giving me the courage to go on, continue with the program.
Because Belize is a large area.
We cover a large area.
How many miles are you? Square miles, do you know?
8,867 square miles.
So you're going to need a lot of pockets working with this.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much.